So we have our beautiful timeline right here. So the first thing we want to simply do is to create our circular progress bar. And to do that, it's very, very easy. What you simply have to do is just to come over to the text icon right here, drag the text, the default text onto your timeline. Now that we have the default text on our timeline, what we are simply going to do just to come over to the basic right here, just highlight it and delete it. Then you want to add a dot, that like a full stop. Now, the next thing we are going to simply do is just to make this bigger. We want to make sure this is actually big, so not just extremely big. Just come over to the scale right here and maybe like up to like 300%, because we still be, we don't want to use that particular one. We want to use the font size to make it much more bigger. And as you can see, we can use the font size to make it bigger as we can. Okay. Now that we have this, you want to drag it to up to like 150. Okay. I think this is okay. Now, the next thing we want to simply do, we want to change the color to green. So the reason why we're using the green color is to be able to remove this particular color later on. When we use chroma key, you're going to see that very, very soon. Then the next thing we are going to simply do is just to come down a little bit. Then you click on stroke. Once we have turned on our stroke, we have already added a stroke right now, but it is not visible because we have a black background and also the stroke is black. To make your stroke visible, then you want to simply come over here. As you can see, you can now select any stroke that we want. I'm going to be going for white in this tutorial. Now it depends on you, whatever you want your progress bar to look like. This is where you start customizing. So I'm just going to show you the default process. I'm going to select a white color as the background. Now you want to click on the small arrow right here, and that will expand our stroke for us. Okay. So the next thing we're going to simply do is just to adjust the thickness to make it, like a reasonable progress bar. As you can see, this is now making a whole lot of sense. Assume this green part is the place that we want to put anything. We want to put either a video or a sticker or anything. I'm going to show you how you can put this progress bar around your videos and also around any stickers. Now, this depends on you. Okay, it's up to you. You can make it very, very thin, and you can make it moderate like this. I love to put it at 5. Now that is moderate. Okay, so once we have this is the first step. Now this we want to do is to determine the length of our progress bar. Okay, this is very, very important right here, because you won't be able to change it later on. But however, later in this video, I'm still going to show you how to do the impossible, how you can still change the length of your progress bar even after you have done all the work, after you have done all the job. Normally before, you can't be able, this is the only place that you can be able to adjust the length of your circular progress bar. However, I'm going to show you later on in this video how you can adjust it, like how you can save all of this as a preset that you can just bring in and easily adjust the circular progress bar to your videos that you've maybe your video is 2 minutes, you can easily adjust it back to 2 minutes. But let's just follow the due process first. You want to import the video that you want to use. Now I'm going to drag this onto the timeline. Now we have this on the timeline. Okay. So what I'm simply going to do now is just to, I don't want to make this long. I want to edit this and I want to delete the rest. Now we have the equal length right here. As you can see, this is like 4 seconds. Now if you're using the length of your video, it depends on the length of your video or in the sticker that you want to use, or maybe like your image that you want to create this circular progress bar around. So now that we have done that, you want to click on the text. And as you can see right here, once you click on it, we have all these functions right here, but there are still some things that are missing. So to enable more functionalities for us, okay, for us to be able to remove this green part, we just to right click on the text and create a compound clip. Now, if you create a compound clip, you can see now we now have the cutout. You want to click on cutout, then you want to click on chroma key, then you want to click on the color picker, then you want to pick the color green, then you want to adjust the strength so you don't see the green anymore. Now that we have our circular progress bar only ready, we don't need this video anymore. So you're going to delete this one right now. Now, the next thing we're going to simply do is to copy this and paste it on top of it. So to copy, Ctrl C, then to paste, Ctrl V. You just want to drag it for it to fit like this. Now that we have this, what we are simply going to do now is to mask these 2 clips right now. We want to create a mask effect. So for the first one, we are going to be creating for the first one. So you want to disable the second one. To disable, just press V on your keyboard and that is disabled. we have disabled the second one. So you want to click on the first clip right here that is on top, and you want to come over to mask right here. Now you want to click on split, then you want to drag this, you want to click on this rotate button and rotate it to 90 degree. As you can see, it is now at 90. Then you want to come over to the second one right here and click on V. Then you want to come over to the top one and click on V to disable that for now. Then you want to do the same thing we did for the second one. Also click on the split, and also by this time around you want to make sure you rotate to minus 90 degree. Now if I click on the first one right here and click on V, you can see that we now have equal parts. We have the masked, the first one, the second one right here, the first one right here. So what I'm simply going to do is just to drag my playhead over to the first frame of the first clip, and I'm going to make a keyframe on the rotate. As you can see, it's currently at 90 degree right here on the first keyframe. Now I'm going to drag the playhead onto the last keyframe, onto the last frame of the first clip, and I'm going to add another keyframe to that. Then I'm going to change this particular keyframe to 450 degree. So this means that this particular one is going to rotate 450 degrees. And once you are done, you want to check this out, like play it, and as you can see, this is how it is going to be playing right now. Come over to the place where this particular where this actually met together, so at this angle. So you want to make sure you want to be on the place where it's in the middle. Okay, I think this is for my own, this is the middle. Okay, now once you select the middle, as you can see, this is still 269. This is another trick you can use to get the middle. Once it is saying 270 degree, okay, now it is at the center. This is at the middle right now. Then you want to come over to the down one, bring down your bleed tool by typing B, and as you can see, then you want to, cut that out, and you want to type A to bring out your normal cursor out. Then you want to delete that one. Now this is what we have right now. So the next thing you're going to simply do right now is just to come over to the text icon right here, then add another default text, then drag the text over here. Make sure you drag your text over here. Then the next thing I'm going to simply do is just to adjust it so that it tallies with the first one right here. Now the next thing I'm going to simply do is just to click on this default text and select capital letter O. Now that we have that, all we are simply going to do is just to drag this letter O till it come over to the font size and still increase it till it covers that white one. Then you want to drag it down a little bit. Then the next thing I'm going to simply do is just select the color and change the color to green. Now as you can see, there is no whitish, nothing is showing right here. You want to make sure that nothing is showing there. Okay, now once we have done this, we want to make compound clip of it. Then right click on it and create a compound clip. Now that we have a compound clip, as you can see right here, drag it to this second one right here. Now next thing we are going to simply do, if you play it, this is what you still have right now. Now the next thing we are going to simply do, so you just to come to your browser and type download green image. Yeah. Now you want to download any green image that you see here. All we need is just the green image. And once you are done downloading, just come over to the media and import the green that you've downloaded. Then I'm just import this one right now, then drag it over to the timeline. Just any green image, and you want to make it to the length of every other clip that is there. Then if you play this right now, currently, this is how it will look like currently. Now the next thing we're going to do is just to come over to this green image right now and click on V to disable it for now. Then you want to come over to the compound clip and then come over to this split right here. Click on split and make sure you adjust it back to angle 90 degree. Okay, make it at 90 degree, and that is okay. So you want to come down again and press V to enable that, and if you play it right now, this is what you have. Okay, so we have the playhead coming in right now. So the next thing you are going to simply do is just to export this right now. Okay, I'm going to click on export. Now you can name this as circular so that you can easily remember. Let me just say circular. Now you can leave this resolution at 4K. It's okay. Then you can leave the frame rate also at 60p. You want to click on export. Once you are done exporting, you want to click on this open folder to locate where you actually where your video is. So this is the circle that I have just created right now. Click on this cancel right here. Now what I'm simply going to do is just to delete all of these. I don't need any of these right now again. So what I'm simply going to do now is just to come over to this file, then the video that I want to import. Then I'm just going to drag this particular circle right here onto the timeline. Then I'm going to drag it over to the timeline itself. Now we have this right now. If you notice the edge is still showing black, so you want to crop that out. Now you want to crop that out, and simply come over here, do that, come over to this side also, and adjust that. Then you click on confirm, and you want to drag it to fit the screen. Now that we have our playhead right now, it's still looking awesome. Now that we have our playhead right now, the next thing we're going to simply do is just to come over to the cutout and click on chroma key. Then you add another cutout. Then you click on the green color. Then you make this trend till it disappears. Now this is our playhead currently right now. Now the next thing we want to add is the effect. We want to add the effect that will make it much more smoother and much more cooler. What you are simply going to do to achieve that is just to right click on this, then copy, and right click again and paste. Then you want to drag this over to that place. Then you want to come over to the head of this particular one, click on V to disable the first one for now. Then you want to come over to this one, to the first frame right here, and click on this freeze icon that is here. So you want to click on freeze, and it's going to freeze like the first 30 seconds of the frame. You want to delete the other one that is here, and you want to drag this one and adjust it till it's aligning with this particular one. Now that we have these, we want to come over to the basics right here and scroll down a little bit till we see opacity. Then you want to adjust the opacity a little bit. All right, so that is that. Then what we're simply going to do now, if you want to enable this clip again by pressing V, and if you play it, you play your clip right now, it will look something like this. As you can see, this is totally amazing. Now this is another trick that you can do if you want to make this anti-clockwise. So all you're simply going to do is just to come over to the first clip and click on reverse. Now now the reverse has completed. Now if you play it right now, you can see it is now going into the opposite direction. Now I promise to show you guys one particular trick that I'm currently using. So what you're simply going to do is just to add this particular green image back to the clip again. I want to take the freeze frame at the bottom, so you want to drag it there like that. So now we have these right now. So if you play this is what we have right now. Because if you actually want to continue using this for any of the project that you want to be using, then you want to follow this step right here. Once you finish adding the green image, then you want to make sure it tallies with every other thing. Then you want to export it again. Okay, by this time right now, you can click on main circle right now. You can name it main circle so that you won't be confused. Then you want to click on export. So once you are done exporting, just click on open folder. Now we have the main circle right here. So you want to cancel this, and you want to delete all of these. We don't need every of this again. Then we want to come over to this particular one and import this, drag this over here, and the down one is always the video one, the top one is the audio. So just come over here and drag this to this. Now we have this effect right now. So this is the one that we created first. Now this one is the main one that we needed. So you want to drag this onto your timeline. Then you want to drag any video that you want to actually use to edit your video. Now to repeat the effect that I created in the beginning of this video, I'm just going to click on import, click on that, and I'm going to drag it on over to my timeline right now. I'm going to make sure it's at the timeline. So now we have a black, you can actually see this paper black background on Pixabay or pexels.com. Okay, so then now what we are simply going to do is just to click on cutout, click on chroma key. You want to click on chroma key, click on color picker, then click on the green color, then you adjust the intensity until it is no more visible. Now if we drag the strength up till like 90, we won't be seeing any green, and also the effect that we created, it has disappeared with it. So another trick I do use for this one is to drag it a little bit like this. So to drag it a little bit like this till the green is still showing a little bit. Now this is what I want to have. Then the next thing I'm going to do is just to come over to the adjustment layer right here. Then I'm just going to go down and increase the brightness till it is all white out. Now what I'm simply going to do is just to come over to the saturation right here and drag it till it is no more visible. So as you can see, we now have everything all white right now, so that the effect can easily come in. So if I decrease the brightness a little bit, as you can see now, the whitish color is now coming out now again. Also, I want to come down to this illumination and lower it a little bit. Now as you can see, we now have the previous effect that we did. If I play this right now, this is what it will be showing right now. We now have our beautiful playhead right now. So now I'm going to show you guys how you can add this playhead to any of your videos or to any stickers or any images that you want to be using. So now what I'm simply going to do is just to bring out one of my videos right now, and I'm simply going to drag this particular video of mine that I'm talking right here, and I'm going to come over here and split this particular one. I don't need it. Then I'm going to delete this. Now to make this a circular video, all I'm simply going to do is just to come over to the video right now, then click on mask. Then I'm going to select circle. Now that I'm selecting circle, I'm just going to drag this and adjust it at the edges. Don't want to break the circle, so I'm just going to adjust it at the edges right now. Now that I have this right here, what I'm simply going to do is just to duplicate this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to make a duplicate, paste it around it. I'm going to place it in the same part. Now what I'm simply going to do is just to adjust this particular video, the one that I added right now, till it's fits onto the circle. Then I want to reduce the main video. There's still a black stuff following us around. I don't know, let me just crop it right now. I'm just going to crop this a little bit right here. Then I'm going to crop this also. Now click on confirm. Now that we have that, we want to make sure this, we want to make this a little bit smaller so that we can be able to edit that properly. So I'm going to click on this particular one right here and just place it around it. If I click this video, I'm going to show you how you can. I'll see. This is now on our playhead right now. It is so amazing. Now you can repeat this for any images that you might have. So you want to click, just import the images. I'm going to use the same Capcut that I used earlier. So I'm going to drag this onto the timeline. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to crop it out a little bit. Then you want to come over to mask again, click on circle, make it a circle. Then that. Then I'm going to copy this again, copy, then click on paste. Then I'm going to drag it down a little bit. I'm going to drag it down a little bit. Then I'm going to adjust it till it fits with my video, with it fits with the image. Now don't forget to group every of your videos. Once I have this right now, what I'm simply going to do is just to highlight these two together. Then I'm going to make a compound clip of it, or you can easily just group it so that you can be able to move them all around wherever you want to move them. You can see everything is now going to each other. You can easily adjust it to anywhere you want to adjust it. You can add animations to it for it to come in. All right, you want it to come in anyhow, you can easily add animation to it. As you can see, it is now making a whole lot of senses. Now for this one also, any images or any stickers or any logos that you want to be talking about, and you can place it anywhere on the screen. You are going to just click on Ctrl G to group it together. Then you can drag it to any part of the screen that you want. Now the last part is for us to adjust the color. If you want to be changing the color of this, then you want to come back again, right click on it and click on undo compound clip. Now you want to click on the main circle right here. You want to come over to adjustments. Then in this adjustment layer is where you can easily change the colors of your circle. So you can go over with this and change it to anything you want. You can see this. You can see this can change any color that you want. Now, if you are talking, now there's a particular trick that I'm going to be giving you guys as a bonus. So if you want your colors to be changing while it is still going like this, so what I'm simply going to do is just to add a keyframe right here. So we want to make sure you come over to the adjustment, then you want to add a keyframe right there. Then you want to drag it a little bit forward, okay? Then add another keyframe on the adjustment. Now, if I adjust this a little bit forward now, okay, and I play it right now, so it starts from the white. I'm going to be showing you how you can blow out. As you can see, that's, you know, it ended this particular. So that is that about circular progress bars. Now I'm going to be showing you how you can easily go about the horizontal progress bar. This one is the easiest, so I'm just going to delete all of these right now. So now to add your horizontal progress bar, all you simply have to do is just to come over to the text, then click on default text and drag it down a little bit and drag it down over here. Then what you're simply going to do is just to come over here and type in dash 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 lots. You can type in another dash to make it like that. Then you want to come over here and make it bold. Then come over here to the character and select -2. Now that we have it at minus, you can see this, you can expand it a little bit. Then you want to come down and select this particular preset style. As you can see here, we are getting there already. So then the next thing you want to do is just to come over to the stroke. Now you can adjust the stroke depending on you. You can adjust the stroke however you want it. Now, once we have this like this, the next thing we are going to simply do is to come over to this particular one. Then we want to duplicate, right click and copy, right click and paste again on top of it. Now, for the first one that is on top, we want to disable the stroke for it. So we want to disable the stroke. Then we want to add the color that we want it to be, you know, showing whenever it is coming through. Okay, so the next thing we are going to simply do is just to add a color right here. So I'm going to add, let me say, red color for now. So that now that we have our progress bar ready, the next thing is for us to animate it. We want to click on animation right here. Then you want to find a particular animation that says wipe out. Okay, so wipe out effect actually goes very, very well with this particular stuff. It's called wipe right. So I'm going to select wipe right. Now, as you can see, this is now making sense. Now, the more you adjust this, the more, you know, it comes in slowly. It depends on you. Okay, the more you adjust it, the more you know it comes in. Now that we have done that, another trick that I want to show you guys is that you can actually turn this into green while it is coming in. But the same trick is what we used in the circular one. So I'm just going to repeat it for you guys. To do that, what we're simply going to do is just to click on the first clip right here. So you want to make sure you want to make a keyframe on the color right here. So we want to make sure when it is at the middle, it turns into maybe like a yellowish, then at the end it turns into green. Now we want to simply make a keyframe on color right here. Then we want to drag it a little bit forward. Then we want to click on the keyframe again, then make it yellow right here. Now that at the end, closing in at the end, we want to just add another keyframe on color, then drag it a little bit forward, then, you know, come and add another keyframe on color, then drag it down. Then we want to select green at the end. Now, if you play this right now, this is what you have. Turns yellow, then green, as you can see. So this is how you can easily go ahead with any progress bar and make your video stand out. If you actually got value from this video, please go ahead right now and like this video. Also comment your thoughts and every question that you might have, maybe any difficulties you are facing. Just comment in the comment section. I'm going to be responding to all of your comments. If you are not subscribed yet, you want to make sure you are subscribed, because more valuable contents like this will be dropping back to back on this channel. I remain the Mayor of Mayor Concept, and I'll see you in the next one.